Okay, bomb bad.
This is Jedi Master Daniel 96, and in today's video, it's the video you've been waiting for. As I talk about Ahsoka and that the SAG-AFTRA Strike has been concluded, it's finally time to talk about the Ahsoka show. And how I'll do this is, it won't be episode by episode, like it'll be off-scripted rambling, just me talking about certain aspects of the show and all that kind of stuff. So with that out of the way, let's get to work. So with the Ahsoka show, it's pretty much, a sequel to Rebels. And I mean, we do have a lot of references to the animated shows, and I mean, to, a lot more casual fans will be a bit lost. Us hardcore fans will obviously know what's going on in that kind of stuff. I mean, if you only see the live action, you definitely need to watch the animation, because, I mean, there is tons of references to the animation in live action projects, which I could do a video on that at a later date. I mean, I did one back in 2020, but I could do one at a later date, like a remake that there's more to go off of. So just wanted to clear that out of the way with the animation references. I mean, because obviously, we do have the Rebels characters like Hera, Sabine, Ezra, Chopper, Grand Admiral Thrawn. So we have those Rebels characters. And they didn't include Zeb in this. I mean, we all know Zeb made his debut in Mandalorian Season 3 for his live-action debut, but he didn't appear in this. Like, I remember leading up to the finale, I thought, hopefully we'd get somewhat of the band back together, but not really. But we did get the Ezra and Sabine reunion, and then at the end you do get that Ezra and Hera reunion, as, Ezra, is in the stormtrooper outfit and then takes it off, and then for Hera. So, I mean, you did have that bit there, but we did have the long-awaited Ezra and Sabine reunion, and then, I mean, it was 5 years worth the wait to find out where Ezra is, and he's been on the planet Perdidia, like, that's where he's been after the events of Rebels, so that's that bit there. And then, so we have that bit, and then you have Thrawn in it as well. And I mean, obviously, he's going to be the big bad of the Mandoverse, well, people like to call it. And obviously, he'll be the villain of Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie, which that's going to be like the Infinity War and Endgame of the thing in the years between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have been kind of crafting with The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew. So that's going to kind of all culminate in the Dave Filoni movie, what it will be all leading to and all that. I mean, I'd like to see an Ahsoka Season 2, because I do think there are things they can follow up on in it. Like, I think an Ahsoka Season 2 is more needed than the likes of an Obi-Wan Season 2, because with Obi-Wan Season 2, the way the Obi-Wan show ended, really, I mean, it was a nice self-contained story, and then really there just wasn't that much, because, I mean, you obviously have, Obi-Wan's fight with Maul in Rebels, and then the events of A New Hope. So there just isn't really that much story you can do with Obi-Wan, for a follow-up on that series. I mean, that's just me on that stuff, so I'm just kind of was rambling there. But with the Ahsoka series, like with a Season 2, you can more just follow up on things that the way, this one left off, like, and all that stuff. I mean, obviously we'll see these characters in the Dave Filoni Star Wars movie, and maybe they'll show up in The Mandalorian Season 4 or Skeleton Crew, so they could obviously, appear there too, so you never know what could happen, so anything's possible there, so that's that there. And then, I mean, we did have Hugh Yang from the Clone Wars and all that, the guy who does all the lightsabers, and he's the droid character and all that. And I thought he was a really nice standout in this series. I really did enjoy Huyang in this, and I really did think they really, expanded upon him more, but we didn't get the idea how he, survived Order 66 and all that. I mean, who knows how he survived Order 66 and all that stuff. And I'd like to see him in like the Rey movie, in the Dawn of the Jedi movie. I'd like to see him in maybe one of those or even both of those. I think would be a nice way to include him in those, in my opinion. I think that would be pretty awesome there. So that's that there. We do have some cameos from other characters we've seen before. I mean, we do have Carson Teva, who has been in The Mandalorian. He's one of the X-Wing pilots. He does make an appearance in here. And then we even have an episode where C-3PO makes an appearance at a Senate meeting. So I thought that was a nice appearance there, bringing Anthony Daniels back for C-3PO, because, he is C-3PO. I mean, no one can replace him on that, so that's that there. And yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, we do have, Hayden Christensen back as Anakin Skywalker in this show, and I thought, that was pretty cool. And then they do bring him in the World Between Worlds. Then we have him in the Clone Wars flashbacks. Then you have him in a holo recording. Then you have his Force Ghost at the end. So they really did use Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker a fair amount in this series as well. I mean, it did make sense because, Anakin was our master, so obviously made sense to bring Hayden Christensen into this as well. So thought that was pretty neat in there as well. So that's that. And I did figure he'd be in this, so it was kind of obvious he'd show up. So that's that. And then the villains were kind of cool as well. Like Baylan and Shin were really good standouts. Like, because Baylan was, a former Jedi of the Order, and it'd be really cool to know his backstory and stuff. I think they could do that in a novel or something, or like a Tales of the Jedi, like animated short could be cool. But I think there's more you can do in a novel that could really go in depth. Like, regardless how many novels it took to tell of his story, of his backstory, I think would be cool in there as well. So that's that. So, I mean, yeah, there's something they can do on Baylan's backstory. I think I'd prefer a novel. I don't really think we need a show or anything. And they could do a novel or comic on that, like I said. So that's that bit there. And then even with, same goes for Shin as well. I did really think they were really good standout characters, as I said, and I really just love the, the complexity with these characters as well. And then even the inclusion of the Night Sisters in this was pretty cool. Like, the Great Mothers and Morgan Elsbeth, I thought was really awesome. And then even having the zombie stormtroopers was cool and all that stuff. And then, with the live action debut of Grand Admiral Thrawn, I mean, as the Blue Admiral, the Chiss, who's in the Empire, I mean, it's also, if you read the expanded universe back in the 90s with the Heir to the Empire trilogy, I mean, if you were there back then, you were probably, waiting 32 years for that to see Grand Admiral Thrawn in the live action. I mean, it took him about 25 years to see Thrawn on screen in animation with Rebels, but for the live action bit, for those people, it took them 32 years to see Grand Admiral Thrawn in the live action. So, I mean, that's that bit there. And I mean, can't wait to see what they do with Thrawn in the future. And he was heading to Dathomir. I mean, they could use him in The Mandalorian Season 4 and stuff, or they'll probably build something up with Thrawn in The Mandalorian Season 4. So that's my prediction, what they'll use Thrawn in next. I mean, obviously be the villain in the Dave Filoni Star Wars movies, so that's that bit there. And I mean, I'd probably rate this series a 9.5 out of 10. And if I was to rank the live action Star Wars shows, it would go Andor, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and then Like, Ahsoka is the perfect mythical Star Wars story, and Andor is like the perfect grounded and realistic Star Wars story. So that's kind of a good comparison to make. And one thing we all got to be, I think, appreciative of the live action shows, regardless of your personal preference on them. You got to, admit that they've done a really good job of delivering a different tone. Because I feel like if they were the same tone, it would just make them feel generic, in my opinion. Like, like I would say the Book of Boba Fett has the tone of The Mandalorian. And then when you go to the likes of Obi-Wan, that has a different tone. Then you go to the likes of Andor, that has a different tone. Then you go to the likes of Ahsoka, that has a different tone. And that's really one thing I'm very grateful for with these live action shows. And this is, one thing that I love about Star Wars and how unique it can be is how each thing can feel different instead of the same. And I think that's what makes Star Wars more unique than other franchises, is just how unique each story can be. And then that's just my opinion there. And that does it for me in this video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think down below. Did you like Ahsoka? Did you not? Were you indifferent? Let me know your thoughts on the show. Share this video. Let's get to 600 subscribers. You can follow me on Twitter, DanRS87, Instagram, JMD96_YT, Facebook, JediMasterDaniel96, and you can also follow me on Bluesky, JediMasterDaniel96. Have a great day, and may the Force be with you.